Hard work won't make you rich, this will. Full long-form script, intro, the pattern break, 00 to 020. You were taught one rule your entire life. Work hard, be disciplined, success will follow. From the moment we can understand the world, we're told a simple, powerful story. A story about effort and reward. It's woven into the fabric of our society, whispered in classrooms, declared from podiums, and echoed in the tales of our heroes. The story is this: if you work hard, you will succeed. If you put in the hours, pour your sweat and soul into your labor, you will be rewarded. You will build a good life. You will achieve your dreams. It's a comforting narrative, isn't it? It gives us a clear path, a formula for success that feels fair and just. It suggests a world that is fundamentally a meritocracy, where your station in life is a direct reflection of your grit and determination. We see it everywhere. The student who pulls all-nighters and gets the top grade. The athlete who trains relentlessly and wins the championship. The entrepreneur who grinds for years and builds a successful company. These stories reinforce one belief: success equals hard work. They imply effort alone is the primary ingredient. It's a belief that feels as solid and real as the ground beneath our feet. But millions of people work hard every day and never become rich. Millions wake before the sun and toil in demanding jobs. They return home after dusk with aching muscles and yesterday's same anxieties. They are the backbone of our economy, the engine that keeps the world turning. Yet, for them, the promise of wealth remains a distant, shimmering mirage. They follow the formula, they give their all, but the promised outcome never materializes. They are trapped on a treadmill, running faster and faster just to stay in the same place. This is the great paradox, the uncomfortable truth that hides in plain sight. If hard work were the sole determinant of wealth, our world would look vastly different. So what actually creates wealth? If it's not just about the hours you clock or the sweat you produce, what is the missing ingredient? What is the fundamental difference between working hard and building wealth? This question is not about dismissing the value of effort. It's about understanding the mechanics of wealth itself. Look beyond the romanticized notion of the grind. Examine the systems and principles that govern wealth. The answer isn't a secret lottery ticket or a stroke of luck. It's a different way of thinking, a different way of operating. It's a shift from being a cog in the machine to understanding how the machine is built. Let's talk about the one thing hard work alone can't do. Let's explore the concept that separates linear income from exponential growth. This key unlocks financial independence. It lets you build something that grows beyond your time and energy. Section 1. Why hard work feels like the answer. Hard work feels logical. It's tangible. It's controllable. You can measure it. You can feel it. At the end of a long day, the feeling of exhaustion can be perversely satisfying. It's proof that you've something. This psychological feedback loop is powerful. Our brains are wired to appreciate cause and effect. I put in effort. I see a result. I build a table. I get a table. I write a report. The report is finished. This direct linear relationship is simple and reassuring. It gives us a sense of agency over our lives. In a chaotic world, control feels appealing. We believe sheer will can shape destiny, and that comforts us. It becomes a core part of our identity. I am a hard worker. We wear it as a badge of honor, a testament to our character and virtue. Society celebrates this. The hustle culture glorifies sleepless nights and packed schedules. We're encouraged to grind, to push our limits, to sacrifice everything at the altar of productivity. This makes it incredibly difficult to question the formula, because to do so feels like admitting defeat, or worse, like being lazy. If effort mapped one-to-one to wealth, the most demanding laborers would be the richest. Farmers who work from dawn to dusk, battling weather and market fluctuations to feed our populations, would be billionaires. Their wealth would be as abundant as the harvests they reap. Nurses work 12-hour shifts on their feet providing critical care. If effort alone paid, they'd retire early to private islands. Their bank accounts would reflect the immense value they provide to society. Construction workers brave extremes to build our cities, risking well-being. If effort equaled wealth, they'd own those very cities. But that's not the world we live in. Many of these essential, hard-working individuals struggle to make ends meet, living paycheck to paycheck. Their immense effort does not translate into immense wealth. This proves that effort, while noble and necessary, is not the variable that determines financial outcome. There is another factor at play. But effort has a ceiling. This is the fundamental mathematical limit of the work-hard model. It's a model based on trading your time for money, and your time is a finite resource. Your time is limited. There are only 24 hours in a day, 168 hours in a week. You can't create more. You can work 8, 12, even 16 hours a day, but you will always hit a hard limit. You have to sleep, eat, and commute. Even if you could work every waking moment, your income would still be capped by the number of hours you can physically trade. Your energy is limited. The human body is not a machine. It requires rest and recovery. Pushing yourself past your physical and mental limits consistently doesn't lead to higher output. It leads to burnout. It leads to illness, decreased productivity, and diminished quality of life. You can't redline your engine indefinitely. Eventually, it breaks down. The very effort you're relying on becomes unsustainable, and most critically, your income stops when you stop. In a time-for-money exchange, your ability to earn is directly tethered to your presence and activity. If you get sick, you don't earn. If you take a vacation, you don't earn. If you want to retire, your income stream dries up completely. You are the engine, and if the engine isn't running, the car doesn't move. This creates a fragile and precarious financial existence, entirely dependent on your ability to keep working. It's an active, not a passive, state of being. Let's be absolutely clear. Hard work is necessary. Nothing of value is built without it. Discipline, focus, and perseverance are the bedrock of any successful endeavor. You cannot build wealth from your couch. The point is not to avoid work, but to apply it intelligently. It's about directing your energy, not just into doing the work, but into building systems that work for you. But it is not sufficient. Hard work is like the fuel for a car. It's essential to make it go, but it doesn't determine the destination. You can burn a full tank of gas, driving in circles. To reach a specific distant destination, in this case, wealth, you need more than just fuel. You need a map. You need a steering wheel. You need a vehicle designed for the journey. You need leverage, and that is the key. That is the variable that breaks the linear relationship between time and money. That is what we will explore next. Section 2. The real problem. Time for money. Most people trade time for money. It's the foundation of the traditional 9-to-5, the hourly wage we're all taught to pursue. The equation is brutally simple. No work means no pay. This model keeps you busy, running on a hamster wheel of daily tasks. But it keeps you trapped, because your earnings are capped by the hours in a day. True wealth requires income that continues to flow, even without your constant presence. Hard work alone only builds income. Ownership is what builds lasting wealth. Section 3. What actually makes people rich? We've been taught a simple formula for success. Go to school, get a good job, work hard, and save your money. And while that's a path to stability, it's rarely the path to true wealth. It's the path of trading your time for money, and you only have so much time. So, what's the secret ingredient? What do the truly wealthy understand that most people don't? It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. It's about shifting your focus from earning to building. After studying countless self-made millionaires and billionaires, a clear pattern emerges. They don't just have better jobs or bigger salaries. They operate on a completely different financial framework, one that's built on 3 foundational pillars. Understand and apply 3 concepts to change destiny. Ownership, leverage, and systems are those pillars. The first, and most important pillar, is ownership. This is the bedrock of all significant wealth. You cannot get rich by renting out your time. You must own something that has the potential to grow in value independently of the hours you put in. This means owning equity. Equity is your slice of the pie. When you work a 9-to-5 job, you are building someone else's equity. They own the business, the brand, the customer list, the intellectual property. You are a vital part of the machine, but you don't own the machine itself. The wealthy, on the other hand, focus relentlessly on acquiring assets. This can take many forms. The most direct is owning a business. Whether it's a local coffee shop, a software company, or a global manufacturing plant, the owner holds the equity. If the business succeeds and grows, the value of their ownership stake multiplies. Another form is owning real estate. A rental property isn't just a house, it's an asset that generates monthly cash flow and, ideally, appreciates in value over time. And of course, there's owning a piece of other people's businesses through stocks. By buying shares, you become a part owner, entitled to a portion of that company's future profits and growth. The key takeaway is this: owners get paid while they sleep. Their assets are working for them 24/7, generating income and appreciating in value. Your job pays your bills, but it's the assets you own that will build your wealth. The second pillar is leverage. Archimedes famously said, "Give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world." In finance, leverage is the tool that multiplies your force. It allows you to achieve results far greater than what you could accomplish with your own efforts alone. The wealthy are masters of leverage. They understand that their individual capacity is limited, so they amplify their impact by using other people's resources. There are three main forms of leverage. The first is labor leverage, or other people's time. A business owner doesn't do everything themselves. They hire employees, delegate tasks, and build a team. If you have 10 employees each working 8 hours a day, you are leveraging 80 hours of human effort every single day. This allows the business to serve more customers and generate more revenue than one person ever could. The second is capital leverage, or other people's money. This is the art of using investment or debt to grow faster. When a company takes on venture capital, it's using other people's money to scale its operations. When a real estate investor gets a mortgage to buy a property, they are using the bank's money to control a large asset with a relatively small down payment. Used wisely, this magnifies returns exponentially. The third, and most powerful form of leverage in the modern age, is technology. A single piece of software, a YouTube video, or a podcast can be replicated and distributed to millions of people at virtually zero marginal cost. You create it once, and it can work for you indefinitely, reaching a scale that would be impossible with human labor alone. Leverage is the force multiplier. Ownership gives you a stake in the game, but leverage is how you play to win big. This brings us to the third and final pillar: systems. If ownership is the goal and leverage is the tool, systems are the blueprint that makes it all work without your constant intervention. A system is a process that produces a predictable result repeatedly and reliably. The wealthy don't just build a business, they build a business that can run without them. This is the crucial difference between being self-employed and being a business owner. The self-employed person owns a job, the business owner owns a system. Think of McDonald's. Ray Kroc didn't invent the hamburger, but he perfected the system for making and selling hamburgers consistently anywhere in the world. That system, from how the fries are cooked to how the franchise is managed, is the true product. It's what allows the business to scale globally. In the digital world, a sales funnel is a system. It automatically attracts potential customers, nurtures their interest with content, and guides them towards a purchase. Once built, this system can generate sales 24/7. An investment portfolio built on rules-based index fund investing is a system. It automates the process of diversification and long-term growth, removing emotion and guesswork from the equation. This is where the hard work comes in. It's not about the daily grind of manual labor. It's about the intense, focused effort required to design, build, and refine these systems. You work hard to create the system. Then, the system works hard to create the wealth. Ownership gives you the vehicle, leverage provides the fuel, and systems are the engine that drives it forward, automatically. By mastering these three principles, you shift from being a pawn on the chessboard to being the player who controls the game. Section 4. The myth of more hours, 6:30, 8:30. It's a common trap, the belief that working longer hours automatically equals greater success. This hustle culture feels productive, but is it really effective? The math is simple. Doubling your hours rarely doubles your income. At some point, your effort hits a wall of diminishing returns. This is precisely why so many high-income professionals still feel stuck, trading their time for money. More hours doesn't equal more freedom. It's a golden cage. Only scalable systems can truly remove that income ceiling and give you your life back. Section 5. Real-world examples, 8:30-11 San. Consider a business owner. They work hard once, pouring their energy and creativity into building a valuable product. Then, a well-designed system sells it thousands of times, even while they sleep. Or think of an investor. They work hard to learn the principles of the market just once. That knowledge allows their capital to compound for decades, growing on its own. In both cases, hard work starts the engine, but it's ownership that keeps it running, generating value long after the initial effort is over. Section 6. Why most people never cross over. 11 Fra 13 Now. Ownership requires patience, delayed gratification, uncertainty. Hard work provides instant validation. That's why most people stay employees of time. But wealth rewards those who think long-term. Section 7, the shift that changes everything. We've spent our lives being taught to ask a certain set of questions. What job pays the most? How can I get a promotion? How many hours do I need to work to afford this? These questions are born from a framework of trading time for money. It's a linear, predictable, and ultimately limited path. It's the path of the earner, the employee, the service provider who is paid only when they are actively working. It's a path of stability, for a time. But it's also a cage, where your income is forever tethered to the hours you can physically put in. To break free, to truly build wealth and freedom, you don't need to work harder at answering the same old questions. You must change the questions you're asking. This mindset shift separates the busy from the truly wealthy. Start with this one. How can I get paid even when I stop working? This question is the gateway to the concept of passive income. It challenges the very foundation of the time for money exchange. The traditional model says if you take a vacation, you stop earning. If you get sick, the money stops. If you decide to sleep in, your income potential for that day is zero. Build systems and assets that earn without you. Create revenue streams independent of moment-to-moment effort. Think of it as building an economic engine that runs on its own, humming along and producing value, whether you are at the controls or 1,000 miles away. This could be the royalty check from a book you wrote last year, the ad revenue from a YouTube channel you built, the dividends from a stock portfolio you've carefully curated, or the rental income from a property you own. Each of these is an asset that works for you around the clock. The initial work might be intense, writing the book, filming the videos, researching the stocks. But the goal is to create something that detaches your earnings from your time. The next question builds on this foundation. How can my effort multiply itself? This is the principle of leverage. If the first question helps you detach your income from your time, this one helps you amplify the impact of the time you invest. It's about finding a force multiplier for your work. Leverage of labor. Hire a team to multiply output. 10 people's 80 hours beat your single 8. Leverage of capital. Invest money in growing assets. Your wealth becomes a worker that earns more. But in the modern age, the most powerful and accessible form of leverage is that of media and code. You can write a piece of software once, and it can be sold 1,000,000 times. Create once. Courses or podcasts can teach thousands for years. There's no extra effort per customer at scale. Your single act of creation is replicated and distributed at near zero marginal cost. This is how you move from addition to multiplication. Instead of your effort adding 1 unit of value, it creates a system that multiplies value indefinitely. This leads us to the ultimate question, the one that ties everything together. How can I own instead of only earn? This is the final, crucial distinction. Earning is temporary. You earn a salary, a fee, a commission. It's a transaction. You perform a service, you get paid, and the exchange is over. Ownership is permanent. It's about possessing the underlying asset that generates the earnings. An employee earns a salary, but the founder owns the equity, the business itself. A freelance writer earns a fee for an article, but the publisher owns the platform that profits from the article for years. A real estate agent earns a commission for selling a house, but the investor owns the property that appreciates in value and generates rental income. Earning puts money in your pocket today. Ownership builds your wealth for tomorrow and all the days after. Ownership gives you a stake in the system. It's the difference between renting time and owning assets. So yes, work hard. The world doesn't reward laziness, but critically examine you are working toward. Is your hard work simply earning you a paycheck, or is it building you an asset? Are you digging a ditch for a day's wage, or are you designing and building a pipeline that will flow for years? Work hard, but work toward ownership. Direct your energy not just into completing tasks, but into creating systems. Use your skills not just to get paid, but to build equity. View every task through this lens. Am I owning? How does this move me from earning to owning? That's the difference. It's the difference between a life of running on a hamster wheel and a life of building a legacy. It's the shift from being a passenger in someone else's vehicle to being the driver of your own. It's not just a financial strategy, it's a philosophy for freedom. Better questions change focus and actions. Ultimately, they change your economic destiny. Conclusion. The truth. Hard work won't make you rich, it will make you tired. Ownership, leverage, and systems turn effort into wealth. Work hard at first, but never stop building things that work without you. If this video changed how you think about success, subscribe to the channel. We break down money, wealth and freedom the way they actually work, not the way they're sold.